Have you ever wondered how the length of different verses in the Quran vary? Some are very short, whilst others stretch really long. What significance does it have? We call this tool layered lengths, and it's a fascinating aspect of the Quran to study because the lengths of a verse can add tone, meaning, and importance beyond the words themselves. Let's consider these one by one. First, tone. Consider the verses at the end of Surah Maryam. Listen carefully to how the lengths of the verses carry the tone of what's being conveyed. وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذَ الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا لَقَدْ جِئْتُمْ شَيْئًا إِدًّا تَكَادُ السَّمَاوَاتُ يَتَفَطَّرْنَ مِنْهُ وَتَنشَقُّ الْأَرْضُ وَتَخِرُّ الْجِبَالُ هَدًّا أَن دَعُوا لِلرَّحْمَنِ وَلَدًا. They say the Most Merciful has taken a son. How terrible is this thing that you claim? The heavens are about to burst, the earth about to split, and the mountains about to crumble to pieces because they attribute a son to the Most Merciful. Can you feel the effect that the varying length of these verses have on the tone and meaning? The short verses build tension. Then the longer verse, with one catastrophe after the other, lands as though the world is collapsing piece by piece. To give an analogy, imagine a teacher saying, "You didn't revise at all? I'm sick and tired of this. We've spent months practicing, giving you hours of extra support, helping you with every single detail, and you didn't even bother to revise?" The variation in length creates a tone and feel that carries meaning beyond the words. Number two, meaning. The length of a passage also carries meaning beyond the words themselves. A beautiful example is the transition from Surah Al-Fatiha into the opening of Surah Al-Baqarah. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches us the dua, "Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim," guide us to the straight path, the following verses are longer and stretch out, creating a sense of waiting as you long for the answer. The surah ends and another begins without an explicit response until finally Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Hudan lil muttaqeen," a guidance for the God conscious. That length reflects the space between your dua and its answer. Third, importance. Length can also give importance to a topic. The longest verse in the Quran is all about financial contracts, a complex topic of great importance. So the verse being long symbolizes all this. It's almost as if the length symbolizes the complexity of the contract with all its clauses. The more space Allah gives to something, the more He invites us to stop and pay attention. So how do you use this tool? First, enter the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask Him for guidance. Second, notice the length of the verses or passages within the surah. Third, reflect on the effect that the length has on the meaning being conveyed. Fourth, connect that back to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing you through His words.